going to be using this sign. It says God Bless America. I just thought it was very fitting. So I'm going to be putting this sign in the center. And again, this is all ribbon. Where the blue side is, I'm going to be using this patriotic heart ribbon. And I'm going to be using this glitter royal blue ribbon. That's going to be for the blue side. And then for the red side, I'm going to be using the stripe. And I am also going to be using this glittered star ribbon. Okay, so I'm using the large board. Okay, so I've already preloaded most of it. So if you're new, I'm going to do a few preloaded. Here's my top. So the top is where the two holes on row 1 are together here. We use these for a hanger. So I can actually I'll put my hanger in right now. So you go down and up, close your zip tie a little bit, and where did my cutters go? There they are. And make a hanger. Now, I've sectioned off the board. What I've done is I've gone straight down, so right across to across this way. And you'll see I have a marker here. That's a quarter of the board, okay? So a quarter of the board is going to be done in the blue and hearts. And then the rest of the wreath is going to be the stripe ribbon and this star ribbon. Now, I don't know if I have any more of this in stock. I had this from last year, and I only had like a quarter of a roll left. You can use any, even a red solid or a red, anything with red and white, just to break up some of the stripes. That's all I wanted to do. So we're preloading, like I said, because I'm doing a quarter, only a quarter, I just did a marker line right down the middle and quartered it off. And then I'm going to preload my board, which is going down one hole, back up the other, and just zip it till you hear a zipping. Now, I always use 6-inch zip ties for this. You can use 4-inch zip ties for this project. And normally I say don't use 4-inch because they're too small. For a ribbon wreath, I think I have some 4-inch here. These are even tinier. For just make sure they're good quality so they don't break. But you can use the tiny zip ties because you just need to slide the nub of the ribbon into it. Now, I don't like these little ones, so I use the big ones. So you're going to preload all of 2, the regular holes on 3, the regular holes on 4, and row 5, we are going to preload when we get there. Okay. First thing I'm going to do, though, is I am taking this cording off my sign, and I'm going to put a cable mount. Where did my cable mount go? And I'm going to use some E6000, and I'm also going to use hot glue, so E6000 will keep it on for good. So I just kind of did 2 sides, 1, 2, and down the middle with the E6000, and then I'm going to use some hot glue. And I'm going to put it right in the center where I had put my mark. And hold it down for a second. Okay, so now I'm just going to put this to the side, let it dry, and it'll be ready for when I am ready to put it on. 12 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cut it off the measure buddy. Slide it off. Make sure it's all lined up, the edges. Now for this one, you can see I have the tails pointed like a tie, right? Like a necktie. And I have all the points are 1 inches. So to get a 1 inch point, because I want all the points on my ribbon tails to look exactly the same. And to do that, after you pull it off your measure buddy, don't open them, don't cut the edges or anything. I'm going to show you a little trick. What we're going to do is take the top, fold it over lengthwise like this. Now I may have a few too many ribbons in here, but I got these are really sharp scissors. Okay, and then put the end of your ribbon on your mat, and then put your thumb at 1 inch. So I have the end of my ribbons on my 18 here, and then I have my thumb just below the 17 inches. Okay, and now I'm going to take my scissors. Like I said, I have a lot of things, but these are really sharp. I am now going to cut from the edge to here. And again, I'm doing it the opposite way than that you would do a dovetail. Alrighty. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. Fold it over. Put your finger about the 1 inch. And from the edge to the corner. Then we got perfect tails, pointed tails. You're going to fold it in half. Okay, open your ribbon. I can see my line, so when you fold it in half, make sure you do your crease there so you can see your center line. I'm going to pinch it in the middle first, and then I'm going to bring the top down and then the bottom up, pinched in the center. When you do it this way, it gives a nice curve and pleat to your ribbon. Flip it up, and when you flip it up, you're wanting to make sure that your tips of your ribbon tails are the same length. Squeeze the bottom, slide it in, and then do your zip tie up. Okay, just like that. And then your ribbon tails fold out or fan out really, really nicely when you pleat it like that. Okay, let's do another one. Again, fold it in half. All right, pinch it in the middle. Bring the top down, bottom up, and flip it. Just like that. And then slide it in. You can add a little bit of glue if you want to make sure your ribbon stays secure. You can put a little bit of glue over top. Alrighty. And next is the heart ribbon. Now, the heart ribbon, when you cut a 12-inch piece and you flip it up, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut pieces at 6 inches. And I only need it to do for this ribbon because this ribbon is directional. Okay? So I'm going to cut at 6 inches. And then I'm going to cut another one at 6 inches. And then how many do I need? 2 more. So I'm going to cut another one. Okay. And then I'm going to take the 2 pieces, make sure both, like the hearts, are going the same way. You're going to butt the ends up together of your ribbon, fold it in half, put your finger at the 1 inch, and make your point. And this time I'm putting the 2 pieces together. So there's 1, 2. Now there might be an easier way to do the directional ribbon. I just find this is the easiest, just to cut them, because nobody can tell the difference once you put it in. And there we go. Now our hearts are all going the same way. You do this one. So it's, when you're doing a ribbon wreath like this, it's really important to do that center one first, because you can see how it pleats in the center, but it also curves out. Okay, and there, we're going to put this one in. So you can see why you could use 4-inch zip ties. All right, let's cut this off. Again, you can use any ribbon combinations you like. All right, so here is where we're going to do this really pretty royal blue. I just want to break up a little bit of these hearts here. So again, I'm doing blue. Okay, I need 1 more blue there. The measuring tool is the Measure Buddy. You can buy it on uniqueinthecreek.com. It's another invention that my husband and I came up with. So you can measure ribbons, yarn, mesh, anything from 8 inches all the way up to 20 inches, because both sides open. I'll show you in a sec. Again, you want to make sure your points. And again, I would put the glue under, but my glue gun's, you can just put a dab of glue and then push it down. Dab of glue, push it down. Dab of glue and push it down. So it's zip tied in as well as glued in, so it's not going to go nowhere. Okay, so the next row on my red side is the stars. Now you could use, if you want to break up this, if you're going to do a wreath like mine, like this one, you could use just red, solid red, to break it up. I just didn't have any solid red. However, I had, like I said, a 1/4 of a roll of this, and I thought this would be good. So you're making each ribbon tail exactly the same. The blue is hearts. Yes, the blue is hearts. Not quite sure if that's what you were asking. Okay, so we are on row 3. So we did 5 heart or stars on row 3 and 3 of the really pretty royal blue. Okay, so next row 4, I'm doing stripes. And it's kind of an inexpensive wreath if you think about it, because we're not using all that much supplies. It appears like we are, but we're not. Yes, you definitely can do it on the small board. Why I used the large board was because my sign is kind of big. Ooh, look, the sparklies match the sparklies. My sign is kind of big, so this is why I used the large board. But yes, you can use the small board. You could put, you know, a 6-inch or 8-inch sign. Sky's the limit. Okay, one more stripe. The ribbons are 12 inches long, and we cut them to a point, a 1-inch point. Okay, so this one, these two here on the blue side, they're hearts. So we're on row 5. So we're going to preload all the holes, including the shared holes on row 5. So from here, so this one's going to be blue, this one's going to be blue, this one's going to be blue, and these are going to be the red star. Okay, so star 1. So as you can see, once you get your ribbons on there, they overlap and you don't see the board or the zip ties. Oh, it's a little bit big now. This is a Unique in the Creek large board. You get from Unique in the, all of this is from uniqueinthecreek.com. All the supplies. So this is one of those wreaths you could definitely sit and do on your lap while you're watching TV. And again, you don't have to do a patriotic. You can, there's so many ribbon combinations out there. When I get back. There we go. Super easy. You just need to pay attention to your cuts. Alrighty, let's put our sign on and we're done. So there's our top because we put our hanger on it. I'm going to go down the center holes with my pipe cleaner. And the sign There we go. God bless America. It is amazing. And you guys can use any ribbon combos.
Awesome.
Now, if you don't want to use a sign, which I do really like the sign, however, you can turn this into a flower. You can do, ooh, black actually looks cool. You can do like a half ball and make it a flower. Isn't that cool? Like, that's simple. So all kinds of stuff. Actually, that looks really pretty, doesn't it? All right. Bye, everybody.